and all these things shall be added unto you. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
You may be seated. Well, this is our 7th in this series for the fruits of Spirit. And today it's faith is like Wi-Fi. Okay, we'll look at that a little more, but first let's pick up the fruit. The fruit today is the orange. Now, this is significant for me because many years ago, like right out of high school, I had taken a world religion class, and we were asked what was an image of what it was to awaken to God. And to me, it was an orange blossom growing into a full orange. So this is our faithfulness. This is our juicy, alive presence of awakening to God. So let's explore this some more. We'll put the orange into the cornucopia. And this is the quote that inspired this title. It's anonymous. Faith is like Wi-Fi. It is invisible, but it has the power to connect you with what you need. Now, we know what it's like when the Wi-Fi doesn't work. We feel bereft, alone, separated from everything. We can't do our banking online. We can't get our email. I mean, it has so much become an emblem of what makes us work, what makes us tick. Now, of course, technologically speaking, the Wi-Fi signal is everywhere present. Kind of reminds me of something else. And all we need to do is tap into it. It's invisible. We don't see so much of the most important things in our life we don't ever see. We can't grab a hold of it. Wi-Fi, God, our faithfulness, these energies that we work with that, electricity, you don't see it unless there's thunder boom booms and the angels are tossing down thunderbolts, but that's a whole nother talk. Let's look at faithfulness and see how it might resemble like our Wi-Fi. Now, I look at these words by Reverend Margaret Pounders. She was from Irving, Texas, so we know she's a good gal. Faith is the fruit of the marriage of the thinking and feeling natures. The marriage of our thinking and feeling natures. Now, I have heard it, read it, I've even said it, that the longest journey is from here to here. Well, what our faith is the opportunity to bring a partnership, to make a commitment of marriage between our thinking and our feeling natures. Because when we do that, when we contract that, we can no longer be guided by just our thinking, which sometimes can take us down very bizarre paths in life. In my own life journey, when I was in New York and I was studying theater and doing theater, and I became a really good theater director and decided I didn't need to prove it anymore because I wasn't making any money at it. I thought, how could I make some money? How could I live a life I wanted to live? What could I do? And I decided to be an attorney. And I took the LSAT and I flew out to California because I wanted to move back to California. And so I visited all the law schools in Northern California. Just sort of, I'm going to Bolt Hall. And I was working because the organization that supported my theater career was a law firm, and I supervised 14 clerks in a law firm. And I thought, well, I could be an attorney. So it's the Christmas party, and there was a lawyer who I just loved, and her name was Eric Foreman, and we're just dancing at the Christmas party. And I'm like, Erica, how did you decide to be an attorney? And she said, I didn't know what else to do. Gong. And then she said, and if I had to do it over, I wouldn't have done it. And she'd just been made partner. And this was just a huge awakening for me, because I was thinking I could be a really good attorney. And I could be. I've got the skill set to be a really good attorney. Do I want to be an attorney? Do I want to be a lawyer? No, I don't want to do law at all. It doesn't delight me at all. So this is important to recognize, that when we're guided by just thought, thinking the shoulds, have-tos, gotta, what may seem like a good idea, if it's not grounded in how we feel, it could be leading us down a path where we could be named partner and wish we never were a lawyer. Now, this is profound knowledge that's throughout old traditions and in our own Bible, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So, as we know, we can't see faith. And it is when we have that connection with our thought and what we feel that we manifest all that we experience. And we can place our faith on our good, on our dreams, on our vision, on our mission, or we can place our faith in our doubt, in our fear, in our sense of lack. We can place our faith anywhere we desire. And certainly, if we're placing our highest faith, our divine faith, our wholeness in faith on that which we want, then we can rest assured that we're going to receive it. Co-founder Charles Fillmore says this in a wonderful way. He says, God must have had faith in order to ideate the universe before it was created. And man, being like God, must base his creations on faith. Faith is innate in man. Now, faith is one of those 12 powers. It's an important part of what we are. It's part of our wholeness. And there is no single thing in our world that wasn't first thought of. Now, before George made these pews, he had to have the thought of it, had to imagine it, put the creative juices in it. And it took faith, a whole lot of faith, to create a whole bunch of them. This is true in everything that we have in our life. Our car, our partner, our house, our garden. It's all part of our being connected in our life in faith. Having a sense of our divine Wi-Fi that we connect through our conviction. Now, the story didn't end for me that I just stopped being an attorney. Because I didn't follow that track at all. What I did is there was a secretary at the law firm who was reading Matthew Fox's book, on Original Blessing and said, Gary, I'm applying to this school in California and get a master's in spirituality. I'm so excited. And she shared that with me, and I read that book, and all of a sudden, I was going to California, and I was getting my master's in spirituality, awakening to a much deeper truth, a powerful truth that I can be and align with God, with the vision that there's something I can do in the world that will bring forth service and good work, an opportunity to be more than just little old me. And there's nothing wrong with little old me, but I much prefer being in a position where I can be of great service to you. Now, Eric Butterworth, a powerful unity minister in New York and a great writer, says, faith is really your consent to let your own uniqueness unfold, to let that which is attracted by your uniqueness manifest in your life. Each of us is a unique spark. Each of us is a divine flame, each different. And what we are here to do is our own unfolding. And we never know where it's going to lead us. I never thought I would leave Hawaii. I was home. Everybody knew I was home. And everyone that met me knew, well, he's going to be here forever. But the truth was, yes, Hawaii's home, but I couldn't do what I was called to do. And I was clearly called to be a unity minister. So finding our unique unfoldment may require us to go someplace where we can do it. And it might require us to wake up and have some faith in all that we have to do. I wrap this talk up by looking at this quote from Martha Smock. She says, to have faith is to welcome the new, to dare to get out of set ways, out of ruts of living and thinking. Faith is the pioneering quality of the mind. It's pioneering because it's connected with our feeling. When we can feel our way into our vision, feel our way into our dream, feel our way into our day, whatever we're doing, then we are living a life beyond our wildest dreams. We didn't know that all we had to do was say, okay, God, whatever you say. I'm connected to my divine Wi-Fi, and I'm ready, willing, and able. Now, I've said this before. You've heard it before. But we need to keep saying and hearing things to bring it more fully into our knowing. That's why we have this glorious community and why we embrace these virtues, these values that awaken us. So is faith like Wi-Fi? Choose to allow yourself to awaken to your divine and allow faith to be your guide. Thank you.
Step out on the water.